I signed the discharge papers with a hand that barely trembled. The nurse smiled. She thought I was brave for surviving the wreck. She didn't know that crawling out of twisted metal wasn't the hardest part. It was waking up alone in that hospital bed. No flowers, no voice, no "I'm here, baby." Just silence and the echo of a promise he broke before I even knew it. When I called him, IV still in my arm, tubes still humming, he sighed. Actually sighed. Then said, "I don't have time for losers." Losers! I hung up. Then I smiled. Because that was the moment I knew. He thought I was dead weight. He thought he'd already won. And he had no idea that 3 days ago I inherited $13 million. I met him in a grocery store 6 years ago. He asked if I needed help reaching a bottle of wine. I didn't, but I let him hand it to me. He was charming in that lazy, effortless way some men are when they think they're God's favorite mistake. I was lonely, tired of being the quiet, smart girl, so I let him in. The first year was good. I paid the rent. He made excuses. Year 2, he lost his job. I covered the bills. By year 4, I was running 2 jobs while he stayed home working on a business idea. He sold me dreams. I financed them. He whispered love. I answered with loyalty. And still, I didn't see it. Not until the money came. My uncle died suddenly, a heart attack while boating with his mistress. Life has a sense of humor like that. We hadn't spoken in years, but he left me everything. $13 million. Uncontested. Immediate. The moment I found out, I rushed to tell my husband. I didn't call. I wanted to see his face when I said it. I remember the light turning green. I remember the sound of tires screeching. I remember nothing after that. When I woke up in the hospital 3 days later, my world had shifted, and not just from the accident. He never came. Not day 1, not day 3, not even when they moved me to trauma recovery. So I called. And he picked up, annoyed, as if I'd interrupted something. I don't have time for losers. He hung up. That was when the pain in my chest stopped being medical. They say betrayal hits hardest when it comes from someone you fed. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I didn't even tell the nurse. I just waited, I listened, and I planned. He thought I was broke, a burden, disposable, perfect. Step 1 was legal. I transferred the inheritance into a trust with a new name, my mother's maiden name. I became invisible on paper. Step 2, I hired a private investigator. Not to follow him, to follow her. Because yes, there was another woman. There's always another woman. It took 4 days to find out who she was, 6 more to confirm what I suspected. She wasn't new. They'd been together for over a year. He met her while I was working double shifts. He took her to restaurants I paid for. He wore cologne I bought. He told her I was crazy, obsessed, holding him back. And now that he thought I was broken and broke, he married her in Vegas. Fast, cheap, pathetic. The accident gave me a gift, time. I used it. By the 2nd week, I had all I needed. Photos, receipts, recordings. A voice note of him laughing, "She's dead weight. If she died, it'd actually make my life easier." You know what makes life even easier? $13 million. But he didn't know that part. Not yet. He came back to the hospital on day 19, arrogant, relaxed, wearing a gold chain I'd never seen before. She was with him. Younger, prettier, soft hands, loud laugh. They walked in like they owned the air. But when her eyes met mine, she froze. Then she screamed, "Oh my God, she's my—" She didn't finish the sentence. I didn't let her, but I knew what she was going to say. Because when I had the PI follow her, I learned something funny. She wasn't just some fling. She wasn't even a stranger. She was my half-sister. The child my father had in secret. The one who vanished after my mother found out and left. The one my uncle told me about in a bitter letter attached to the will. Find her, or don't, but don't trust the blood you don't know. Too late for that, Uncle. He looked at her, confused, then back at me. I thought you died, I said, sitting up straighter in the bed. His mouth opened, nothing came out. She whispered, "You said she was crazy. You said—" I pulled the envelope from my bedside drawer, thick, heavy. I slid it across the table toward her. She opened it. Inside, photos of them, receipts, a copy of the inheritance trust, and finally, the voice note. His voice, his words, dead weight. She looked at him like she was seeing a corpse stand up. "You lied to me," she whispered. "You said she had nothing," he snapped. Too fast. Wrong answer. She walked out without a word. She left the envelope. I looked at him. "You should go after her," I said. He turned to leave. "But before you do," I added, "you might want to check your bank accounts." He stopped.